there are like a dozen or so Vikings in contract years. You've got to give out one extension today. Who's getting it?
Dalvin Tomlinson. Easy.
Dalvin. It's Dalvin for sure. Doesn't get the spotlight.
Yeah.
Void.
Yeah,
if you're not including the void, that's why 18 million.
Oh my God, it's that.
Yeah, he's when you pull up Vikings free agents next year, he's not on Spot Rack right away. But yeah, void year. Again, we all know doesn't get the spotlight, does all the dirty work, but he's been a huge piece of the Vikings front seven when they've had success this year. Helped open things up for guys around him. Outstanding PFF grades right now. Maybe the best all-around defender week in and week out. Super consistent. I'd be awfully bummed if they couldn't find a way to keep him around moving forward. Unlike, Pat P or Bradbury, I think finding Tomlinson's replacement that could play at the same high level he's playing at right now would be the hardest transition of the three that I just mentioned with Pat P and Bradbury, because I've assumed those guys would be near the top of the discussion as well.
Yeah, I do want to ask, whether or not you would extend Garrett Bradbury, given kind of how he's played this year. Now, I think, his PFF grades, I think, overstate his case, but and obviously last week was not a phenomenal showing for this particular discussion, but he has a good pass protection grade, something that he historically has not had, and he also has 4 years, or I guess 3 years of history to tell you that this is a remarkably bad idea. I already saw Luke Braun shake his head no, even though he is on the Garrett Bradbury truther train, so I'm kind of curious what's going on there. But I want to say, what would it take for you to, because Kyle Fuller, for example, another player that was a disappointing 3 years, and then in his fourth year, and so they declined his fifth-year option. His fourth year, he balled out. They gave him a huge contract extension, and I guess they kind of regret it. But that first couple of years it looked pretty good.
Yeah, my Bradbury take, most of the fight was to not bench him, because I thought benching him for Mason Cole wasn't a good idea. But I was like, he's just going to play out his contract and walk. That was always the take. He'll play out his contract and walk, and that's still the take. He's still the same guy he's always been. He didn't suddenly magically get better because his PFF grade went up. They're hiding him. You don't extend a center that you're hiding.
Let's remember that Nick Easton and Pat Elflein both got big long-term deals after their Vikings career. Nick Easton and Pat Elflein. So who's to say that Bradbury isn't worth
comp picks?
Big relative to their talent. Elflein got 3 and 18. Easton got 4 and 20.
You got a 6th-round pick out of both of those guys.
They definitely got a 6th-round pick out of Easton. I remember that.
Yeah, we got no 4th or 6th next year. We need those back.
They should not fall for the trick. The Vikings shouldn't, but someone will. Someone's going to pay the guy, and more power to them.
Will.
Yeah, what's amazing is that people thought
32 season.
Perfect. People thought that the Jets got a good deal in Pat Elflein because some of his highlights as a center made it to Twitter where he's pancaking people, and it's that was. Well, I guess he never really did pancake people in Minnesota, but that was that would not have resolved anybody's concerns with Pat Elflein in Minnesota. And wonder of wonders, the Jets decided not to extend Pat Elflein. So it was very interesting that people were like, "Wow, great deal, good job, Jets."
Right? Yeah, Bradbury. It's been a great story thus far. I think if they can't re-sign him, though, or don't want to, for that matter, I feel good about your chances of finding a replacement, whether that's in the draft or the free agency. I don't know the market right now. I don't know who's supposed to be a free agent next year, but I would feel a lot better about trying to find a replacement for Patrick Peterson and Garrett Bradbury versus Dalvin Tomlinson, given the drop-off in play that you'd have to expect as far as how good Tomlinson has looked through these 6 weeks.
So what is that extension
center class in the draft?
4 and 40? Is it a 3 and 36? What is that extension?
For who? Dalvin?
Tomlinson.
4 and 40 makes a lot of sense. He's 28, so you'd extend him through age 32, or I guess age 33 season.
Sure.
Yeah, if you could get him 8-9 mil, that would be great. But yeah, probably around 10 mil seems about right. Yeah.